Greetings, everyone. I want to continue talking about what I started yesterday about faith comes by hearing the word about Christ. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, a lot of violence, terrorism, senseless murders. I mean, we're in a political year and there's all kind of noise going on, arguing and fussing and fighting, and a constant diet of that can get you upset. And there's a reason for that, and that's what I want to talk about today. And actually, it goes along with a post from someone that I met online, Derek Day, and he posted about what are you conscious of. And I love in this gospel challenge that we're kind of tag teaming with one another, and it's amazing to me how the Spirit of God is working this thing, and some of the messages are very similar and complement one another, and I think that's an awesome thing. But the reason why the bad news of the world will upset you is because, I mean, when you're hearing a constant diet of it, it's because of a spiritual truth that is, when you are carnally minded, it produces death. Romans 8:6. But when you're spiritually minded, it produces life and peace. So anything that came into the world as a result of sin is death. So what does it mean to be carnally minded? To be carnally minded is to be controlled by your senses. And bad news, when you hear it, it stirs up the senses. It can cause you to get into strife with somebody and arguments, and cause you to worry and get frustrated, because anything that came into the world as a result of sin is death, worry, fear, poverty, sickness. When you hear the bad news of the world and all of this violence and terrorism and strife about political things and political issues, and people who are running and what they're saying, people running for offices, people, of course, we got Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and the things that they say. It causes a lot of conversation online and in chat rooms and on television, and it gets people all stirred up. And there's no life in it. It doesn't produce any life. You know why? Because it's not the gospel. On the other hand, when you're spiritually minded, you're not focused on the things of the world, it produces life and peace, because when you're spiritually minded, you're focused on the word about Christ, the good news about his finished work, the word of his grace. When you have a constant diet of that, it produces life and it produces peace, because it's good news, and the good news is able to build you up. Acts 20:32. So I encourage you to be spiritually minded, not carnally minded. To be carnally minded, that produces death. It's a mathematical equation. When you're controlled by your senses, what you hear on TV, what you see, which is the result of hearing the bad news of the world, it produces death. Spiritual mindedness, that's focused on the things of God, focused on the finished work of Jesus, that produces life and peace. It works every time with no exceptions. Controlled by the senses equals death. Controlled by the word about Christ produces life and peace. Hear the gospel. And that's what you're doing right now. And life and peace is being produced as you're hearing this word. Have a great day.